Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/I don't work here lady, where people don't in fact work there, but people assume they do for whatever reason, usually just due to sheer entitlement. If you enjoy the stories I have for you, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below and all that wonderful stuff. Now without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Home Depot, orange shirt, and old ladies. I went into a Home Depot with an orange shirt, and I saw an old lady struggling to pull a chair from a stack. So I walked over and pulled it off the stack without her asking. I walked away, and then another lady said, "If you're done helping her, you can help me with insert task here." To which I said, "Okay, I'll do you this one favor, but I don't work here." The first lady heard me and was shocked and said, "Wait, you don't work here and you just helped me?" Uh-huh. Now for our next story. Lanyard means employee, right? Way back during the first days of shutdown in the US, I shopped and delivered groceries. Before the apps were prevalent and before any had hit my town and surrounding areas, my clients would email or text me their list, loyalty card info, so on, and off I would go. I would end up in Kroger multiple times a day. My attire is a t-shirt with my business name and a number on the back, mask and lanyard containing my ID, and payment card with my keys clipped to it. Speed and accuracy, yo. No purse, no headache. I would be stopped at least daily by not only random customers, but employees, asking where insert item was. This was also before Kroger's app readily told you the location of items, so The first few times I just stared in that 404 error way before my brain caught up and I'd say, "Well, I don't work here, but actually I do know where that is." And I'd leave the interaction all warm and fuzzy. Human contact bad, mildly rebelling heart goes squeepsh. Then the employees, I guess, would tell the new youngins, and I would have a random person giving me puppy eyes asking for help. TLDR, people pleaser wears lanyard that looks like a badge. Gets asked where stuff is by customers and employees. Rolls with it because I need human interaction, and pandemic said, "Oh! Guess you're gonna tell everyone that now." I made the mistake of leaving my lanyard from the office on when I went grocery shopping after work one day. A kind gentleman stopped me and said I might want to take off the lanyard. With my business attire and the lanyard, I could be mistaken for a manager. Luckily, no one had. I made sure to put it in my purse as soon as I got off to work after that. Girl, this is not a Hooters. I just found this subreddit and think it's great because this seems to happen to me a lot. My favorite story, though, happened not too long ago. I was at a small local beer bar wearing a Hooters shirt with a girl and motorcycle on it. I didn't even buy it directly from Hooters. It was from a Forever 21 or something like that. Other than the shirt, I'm in a black miniskirt and a chain belt and some Vans. And I'm on a date, so I have my hair and makeup done. I get up to go to the restroom, and there's this table of probably early 20s girls sitting inside, and one of them calls me over. I honestly thought she was going to compliment my outfit or ask where something I got was. All our friends look horrified, though. She then proceeds to ask me if I could bring them some waters, and they're all freaking out. They were like, no, 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 no. She doesn't work here. I also had to tell her I was not an employee. I thought it was hilarious, but as to the title girl, we're not at Hooters. And if we were, my outfit would be much, much different. The best employee a cruise line never had. We boarded a 7-day Carnival cruise to Alaska. We were in our cabin for a total of 5 minutes. Plenty of time for me to be out of my clothes, ready to take a day one nap. For some reason, I'm unable to fall asleep. trying to nap at home, but I can on a ship, so I look forward to boarding with great anticipation, when the first knock on my door occurred. Expecting it to be the cabin steward, and really having no modesty left when it comes to crew members, I answered the door in my sleep t-shirt and underwear. It was our elderly cabin neighbors from right next door. They noticed that my wife was on the recently released Carnival Hub mobile app and were talking about it when we arrived at our respective cabin doors together. They were both unfamiliar with it, but were curious and wondering if I thought it was necessary for them to download and have it. I assured them that they would enjoy having it, as opposed to not having it, but as I was not dressed, I would ask my wife to assist them, and she jumped at the chance. As it turns out, they were part of a large group of traveling seniors who are 80+ years old that have decided to take the cruise to Alaska, coincidentally with us. Napping had been out of the question that afternoon because word got out among the group, and there had been a steady pace of knocking at the cabin door now. My wife had helped no fewer than a dozen elderly couples access their app stores, download the Hub app, install it for them, explain the app with tutorials on their phones, help them with dining reservations and the like. She has explained their sail inside room key cards, most first-time cruisers, but not all. Guest services, excursions, you name it. She even went up a few desks to help one couple with their room safe. I've never seen her happier on a cruise, and that's awesome. My wife is the best employee the Carnival never had. Idiot middle-aged people and a bar where the staff don't wear uniforms. So I was at a bar where, like most small-town bars, the staff wear whatever their own clothes are at the moment. This foretop of 50-somethings was sat at a table adjacent to the store of the smoking patio. It was my Friday. I had just got paid and got a weed vape, so I was enjoying myself and going out to the patio to get baked in between shots. The table of older people kept looking at me when I walked past them, like they're expecting me to talk to them or something. The funny thing is, I'm actually a waiter, but not here. After my third vape break, I come back in, and the woman at the table grabs my arm and starts to berate me for walking past them and not giving them any service. I laugh and say, I don't work here. You haven't noticed me 10 feet away drinking liquor for the last 20 minutes? And one of the whipped husband goes, well, can you go get someone who can help us? I'm 5 shots deep and stoned at this point, and I'm sure as heck not a waiter, because I'm passionate about customer service. So I just chuckled and said, no, I'm not going to do that, and walked away. They got so mad they left, still having made zero effort to interact with any of the actual staff. I then proceeded to get shit-faced, and the bartender got a huge tip. All in all, I think everyone came out a winner here. Opposite story. I do work here, lady. Many years ago, I worked at a gift store in a resort town. A tour bus pulls into the strip mall, and several tourists start going from store to store, with about 10 coming into the gift store. This older couple strike up a conversation with me. They ask why I'm not in school. I was 21 at the time, but I've always looked younger than I am. I tell them that I'm done with high school and that I'm working. I'm behind the counter near the register, and the wife goes, where do you work? She was completely serious and was waiting for an answer as I blankly stared at her before eventually replying, well, I work here, ma'am. Close enough, sure. This was years ago and actually pretty funny. I was in a DIY gardening shop in the summer looking for a fireball or something similar for a barbecue. I was wearing shorts and a shirt because it was pretty warm. The shirt was black with a white framed yellow loading bar titled, I'm thinking, please wait. As it happened, employees wore a black shirt with the name of the shop in yellow, with a white frame. In the middle of the lawnmower section, I heard someone behind me go, excuse me? I turned around to a middle-aged guy starting to ask me about where something is, while his eyes went from my face to the shirt. I could see how he was reading the text, and comprehension crept in with him thinking, "Please wait," written on my shirt, being just perfect for this exact moment. One of the few to engage the brain before this mouth in this subreddit. The hospital vending machine. After doing 6 weeks of no weight bearing following a knee surgery that wasn't wholly expected, I was finally crutching my way through the hospital to check in for the appointment where I'd be given my legs back. However, my fiance had to work, so I drove myself and had to park in their regular parking lot. After getting up to the hospital entrance and heading towards the clinic where I was to check in, I heard her yelling at the vending machine. Apparently, this vending machine, like 75% of the ones in the city, took her money and didn't give her her drink. So the appropriate course of action... To start yelling about it and screaming that the hospital owed her $3. Somehow, I was caught in the middle of this with the poor nurse who happened to be walking past. One of us owed her $3 for her drink. Otherwise, she was gonna sue the hospital. The nurse, clearly with someone more important to be, looked at me apologetically and went on his way. I, on my crutches, was hobbling about a quarter of his pace, and I was now the target of her ire, as some sort of representative for the hospital, despite wearing cargo shorts, an oversized Hawaiian shirt, and being drenched in sweat and panting heavily. She began to follow me, still screaming about her Pepsi, until I got to the clinic and sat down, facing away from her. With the rest of the patients staring at her, she finally left me alone. "No, ma'am, I cannot help you get your $3 back." That's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the stories I had for you, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and all that other wonderful stuff. I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.